And hello there. Welcome back to the playthrough. It is time for rest. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Another late night for me. Don't know how things are for you guys, but these have been quite usual. I wouldn't even say as of late, just usual in general. You know, I'm up and I can't go down. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So that's what we do this for. It's MMO Sleep here, the podcast for the Last of Us. Although I hate that game, it's a very apparent name, and that's what I feel like we're living in. Horrible, horrible state of demeaning aristocracy where the zombies rule. But before I get balls deep into what we're talking about today, I want to introduce you to this wonderful game. It's Dragon Quest X. We have a couple of VTubers here, and a video game character as well that I've got the cosplays going for. It is the wonderful, wonderful Myra Moores and Late Primrose, as well as Tales of Vesperia, Rita, with her little whip there and everything. And of course we got Jack, or the little fuzzies, whatever you want to call them, hanging out with us, chilling, helping us to get coaxed to sleep. And yeah, Dragon Quest X, very good MMO, very very easy to play, very casual based, Japan only, so there's that. I explain a little bit more of what we're doing here in the other MMO Sleep playlist, but it's basically just grinding. If you've ever played Dragon Quest, metal slimes are good for experience, and during a 30-minute period, they just keep coming. So that's what I do here. Sometimes we do this, sometimes we do other events, but I try to give you a good 30 minutes of leveling, while I just kind of rant on in my sleepy time voice to give you sleepy time vibes, right? So that's what we're doing. But yeah, sleepy time vibes for me is pretty. I don't know. It's pretty depressing, pretty dystopian, pretty introspective. So I hope you're here for that. You should be. It's a good playlist. We got quite a few videos here now, just from the daily action of going and going and going. And I suppose that's a perfect transition to what we're talking about today. So this has basically been like a phenomenon through my entire life that I used to be very very angry at, very unreasonably, just felt like that anguish from it. But I don't know, recently I've been really coming to terms with it. And that is the fact that although, I don't really want to be seen, I don't really care for, the attention or the general uh, felicity or popularity of anything. I think this probably feeds into the reason why, but I often am the center of attention. But at the same time, because I don't want that, and people tend to generally like to give people what they want. I often do get overlooked, so it's a little bit of an oxymoron and a hypocritical statement, which I fucking hate. But yeah, I realize I am a walking conundrum, a walking paradox, if you will. Don't really know how that works, but that is what the playthrough is for in the first place. This phenomenon often occurs. There's a plethora of reasons, but the main one is when you are attractive and when you are strong. And it doesn't really take much to be attractive or strong, of course. A lot of people don't even work for their attraction, crazily enough. They're just born with it. And I'd say I kind of got like a combination of just having really good genes and, yeah, that thing I mentioned earlier. I go and go and go. MMO Sleep playlist has been going strong since its inception, and it also helps me a lot. I will perfectly and fully admit that. Just making them in general, first of all, very, very therapeutic, very, very, but just like, because I don't really talk to people, guys, I feel very uncomfortable doing that. Maybe I will get over that eventually, but it's not that the actual process of communication is bad. It's everything that comes during and after that. Because people really don't value words. like I do. They don't really remember or call back things. So in my eyes, it's sort of a double-edged sword. It's just sort of a lose-lose situation every time, unless you're on an equivalent playing field of intellect or I don't know, attractiveness or whatever. As long as it's perceived that we are on the same regard, if you will, um, then it's safe. And I don't mean to say this like some kind of oh yeah hold on real quick aside. I realized when I was playing offline that you actually can't close your eyes while you're driving. So thumbs up to Dragon Quest. Being safe drivers. You don't sleep on the road, guys. I don't know why I decided to show that detail, but I did. But anyways, I don't know, man. The even playing field is bad for me because this is not a bragging thing. This is not a conceited thing. You guys, if you've watched the channel for a while, I really don't care about the numbers or the bragging or the giant rights of how fucking amazing and gigantic my cock is. I really don't care about that, but lately it's been really hard to accurately compare myself to others. I just feel like I'm different, I don't know. I don't know how specifically, but I feel like we're all operating on a lot different parameters, a very, very different set of statistics. Everybody's got their own version of what they want the queen or king stats to be. And I'm a believer that there are universal truths to life. There are, there's meta. There's stats that you probably just shouldn't invest in because they won't help you too much. And I think a lot of us are using those specific stats to dictate whether or not they are a worthy person or not. And with someone like me, it's very, very hard to avoid the comparison. I've often been related or, boiled down to a mirror of sorts because of the way I interact in general. And this is going to lead a lot into being the overlooked part, because for the longest of times, before, of course, the channel really started taking off. Oh yeah, I forgot. The game fucking crashed. I have no idea what happened because there was nobody in the house, so probably got hacked or something. I don't know. But yeah, I have a hard time, or at least I used to have a hard time, stating my base, just saying what I felt was true and right in the world, because of course it's always changing, and I don't know, I always felt responsible for guiding in some sort of way. So whenever we're having a conversation, maybe a heated topic or whatever, I just kind of want to speak truth, but not really something to convince somebody that, my way is right, but something that just, just lets you know the facts of life, and then you can draw your own conclusions through my perspective. But I realize, doing that and actively like jumping in between the barriers and trying to assess the truth of the situation, it really takes away your own agency, because oftentimes we don't really see the world in truth. We see it in emotion. And that's a human experience, guys. You shouldn't run away from that. We all have emotions. We should all feel our emotions. We should all, embellish and acknowledge and not fight our emotions. But at the same time, I was too attached to the control, to the, I suppose, parenting relationship that I had with a lot of people to sort of, I don't know, lead them for something greater. Because I through all my life, I just see so much untapped potential, and I think that's what a lot of people saw in me. Strangely enough, I didn't see that. I didn't see it that way until I really started trying to work for myself instead of everybody else. And I looked inside. I'm like, whoa, there's There's a lot in here that's just kind of buried, man, you know? That nobody gets to see, huh? Not really a point to it if it's down there, right? And yeah, that's why oftentimes people just try their best to look away, because it is unawakened energy that is one of the most scary things in the world. It's like you don't know where it's gonna come from. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know when the next moment I'm just gonna flip and then I'll start screaming and speaking in tongues or something. But I've trained a lot. I'm not gonna say everything's all hunky dory, but I've trained a lot to have this level of self control over my emotions, so that I can have a channel like this where I just, it's, a lot of people talk about this thing online like an emotional dumping ground, and it sounds so irresponsible, but if you've done the work, and you openly acknowledge and are honest about your biases and the fact that nobody has all the answers, and you're authentically telling your story, I think it's a very valuable thing. It's just people aren't honest with themselves. So if you have a dishonest emotional dumping ground that adheres to all the good little algorithm things, the good little human attention span hacks, if you will. Yeah, you can start spreading and corroborating, maybe even the opposite of the message you wanted to send. And so that's the main thing with the internet. I feel like it's just a powerful tool to do the same things that we do in the real world. The same exact shit, guys. This is not some mystery or some mythical, oh my gosh, we're doing so many crazy things with techno. No, man. Not at all. Not at all. The internet is a cheap imitation of connection, that a lot of us really get drowned in, I think. I'm no, you know, yeah, I am definitely a victim of this. No saint, man, no saint. Drowning is it's how I stayed sane. It's how I got here in the first place. Whether it be old video games, old YouTube videos, websites, streamers. But you realize in real life, back in the day, guys, you were a kid. There was no internet. You still drowned. Kids drowned in skateboarding, record collecting. They drowned in card games, and this one's gonna hurt. They drowned in actually connecting with friends, understanding them, having real conversations. And I think I want to take back what I said before, when I said, I'm not really good at conversating, or I don't really like it or whatever. It's just, I feel like I can't lie to myself, or anyone else for that matter, about the way I feel when using, the connections and the apps. It's just not, when it's not a tactile thing that I can interact with, the ambiguity, I wouldn't say it kills me, but it puts me in a state of panic. So that I have to, go back to this calm, And people think, oh, wow, he's so cool and chill and he never talks. That's so awesome. But really, this is the same with a lot of calm people. We are internally chaotic. All of us. The reason why it seems that way is because it's all on the inside. We just know how to compartmentalize it and release it where it needs to be released. Just like any energetic value, it can be alchemized. It's not going to go away. It's really not. I think that's the main thing that really frightens me about this life, is that the internet, in itself, it's never going to really leave unless something incredibly drastic happens. And I'm not going to say I'm hopeful for it, but I suppose I could get into this as well. You know, I tend to jump around the main elephant in the room all the damn time, and I feel like ripping the band-aid off here, you know? I really do. The video title has ignited me, if you will. So, spread some truth, why not, right? That's what we're here for, right? So I do acknowledge, you know, with the whole internet bubble, bubbles can only grow so big until they pop. And, don't think I don't realize what I'm doing, guys. I got the cosplays here. Didn't used to be of actual people, you know, but when I decided to do that, it's when the channel started to grow a little bit faster than usual, if you will. And I can sit here and act like, why? Oh, I have no idea. You know, it's something as simple as a link to the channel, you know? A link to the channel, a hyperlink, an @ you know, for anyone. Smugglana, Raina Chu, Leaflet, Asmongold. Absolutely anyone. An @ towards them does not generate any, you know, popularity, publicity from me. It takes it directly to them. So, you could say that I am inflating the VTuber industry until it explodes. You could. You could. Is that my main objective? No. Is it a happy byproduct? Of course it is. Because I feel like with the way the world's going, you know, with the way at least people like me are being corroborated, manipulated, energetically drained by things that, honestly, truth be told, guys, I'm sorry for the hard truths, want nothing to do with you. Not a damn thing to do with you. As much as that is happening, and it needs to change, I feel like there's only two ways to really do it. And that is by, you know, allowing the bubble to grow intensely large until, you know, one of two things have to happen, you know. It's just like, okay, well, pack it up, women, you're done. Gotta kill all women, you know, no more babies. We'll find another way to forward the human race. Or conversely, you kill all VTubers, you know. Sorry, man. We gotta forward the human race. We're not birthing children, so no more tubers. And of course, there's nuance to both of these, but I think the more likely option is they'll just unmonetize all VTuber content, unless it's like, you know, that kind of VTuber content. But it's always like that, man. You realize there's no, and I don't want to say this about female streamers too, but to a certain extent, it's the same thing. It's always the girlfriend experience. Just like I have the dystopian friend who yaps to you about, you know, horrible shit, stuff that doesn't make sense, and just, I don't know, there's the weird schizo guy that makes art vibe or whatever the fuck is going on here. I really don't know. So many videos, he still doesn't know. He still doesn't know. Will he ever figure it out? I don't know. Find out next time. But I think, the average guy has zero chance lasting in this world, and that's just not, we're not going to be able to continue the status quo if we do that. If we continue to berate and destroy, you know, the people who are doing everything right. It's happening with most places, you know. It is those guys that hold up society in general. It's the guys who are just kind of there, you know. It's the chatters, the people in chat, you know. As much as I hate chat, as much as chat is fucking retarded, you guys hold up society. And I'm not just talking about the society of, you know, the Twitch stream or Twitch or whatever. I'm talking like actual modern society in general. And I don't feel like I've ever fit in there energetically in a casual way. That's what really forces me to go ham on a concept or a channel like this, because the more I do this, the more I realize there are more like me out there who just really want a place for them. You know, it used to be the internet. It did. It did. But now that everybody is on there, people like us, we are seen. But nobody wants to see us. And I get it, man. I get it. I try to perceive it, you know, as the outside looking in. And yeah, if I was some random guy, either on the street or at a coffee shop or even on the internet, who just saw me chilling, hanging out, I wouldn't know what to say. I'd be like, oh god, that's fucking, oh shit. You know, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't know what to do. That's why I'm glad I have this here to sort of, you know, figure out what my natural state is. And I think it is this. I think it is this, you know, super high levels of ponderation, corroborated thought, or whatever you want to call it. Because I really don't have, you know, the natural ability to stop my mind. I have to force it. You know, I've honed this skill pretty well, but you know, now is the time to go even harder. You know, I have to get even better coping mechanisms. Like they're okay. You know, it's an okay coping mechanism, but I don't know. I don't even know if being this geared towards growth in life is really what it's for, what it's meant for. But I think it's probably because I'm in flux right now. I'm definitely in the middle of something. That's one thing I can say for sure right now. I am at a stance where I really have no identity. I have, of course, a channel that I've had for about 15 years now. But I wouldn't say I'm like my 15-year anniversary or whatever. I don't really call it that. I say it's 15 years of abuse, you know? 15 years of blind walking. Maybe like 10 years or so of blind walking. It's kind of funny because I really do gel with our recent parts in the playthrough, where our guy is in cryo sleep. I don't think I've uploaded those yet, but actually it might have just been the one I uploaded like yesterday or something. But gotta get caught up with the videos. I really do feel like I was left in cryo sleep for so long, you know, just following along with what was going on, what people were doing, whatever. But at the same time, you know, I was the center of attention because people saw that in me still. It was still in me somewhere, you know, that thing, you know, that helps people just awaken and see themselves, the mirror quality, the intrinsic light, you know, the God touch was always upon me. But you know, I decided to be overlooked. I decided to have friends. I decided to compromise a lot, you know, of what I really wanted to do for the sake of the community. And I realized in doing that, I destroyed the community. At least the one I tried to build. And it all just comes from not being honest with yourself, not being honest about your true objectives. You know, because I feel like they've definitely changed lately. Not like lately, but you know, when I started this thing. But back when I was like just working retail jobs and jumping jobs every now and then or whatever, you can honestly say I wanted the regular American dream life, you know? Wanted to go to college and get a good career or whatever. You know, strangely enough, way back in high school, my first dream job was a game programmer, right? And then I was convinced by family, hey, you should join the acting group or whatever. And then, you know, I went in there and I was really good. It's really good, but not that I was really good. I just had a lot of fun because of the God energy and because I just like being in the moment. Like, you know, These videos may be kind of a pain to make, edit, or whatever, but I can tell you guys right now, even if it doesn't sound like it, I am having fun. Had a good time recording this. This is post commentary, by the way. And I'm having a good time watching it. And I can't say for sure because that's in the future and I don't like to talk about it. I feel like that's the best way for a mind like me to function, is to just set your sights on what you want and let the variables do the rest of the work. Because yeah, future sight is terrible. But back to the topic at hand. I think I'll probably have a good time watching it when it's uploaded. Probably. I usually do. And I think that's a lot of what this channel is about, is just the magic, the moments of magic that we all have and share, that we choose to ignore, that we choose to overlook. You know, that I every time come with. I don't think I've ever not come with that. You know? I always have magic. Within me, around me, adjacent, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, people do weird things because of it. You could say it as them being evil or conniving or whatever, but I don't know, man. People are just people. People are just interacting off of fear, the same fear, you know, that stops me from making the first move or jumping in to be the center of attention. You know, just outwardly, just swinging my dick and flopping it on the table. I don't want to do that. And oftentimes it's not because I'm afraid that I'm going to die or be looked at weird or embarrassed or whatever. It's because now more than ever, I value the minds of others. And the pollution caused by unanalyzed, unrealized, in just overall, you know, opinions that haven't been thought through are destroying our society, man. Let me give you a quick example of that. Although I don't like to talk about other creators, we have done it a lot in this episode, so I'll just continue doing it. Anton Daniels, man. I mean, it's opinions like that just really aren't baked in anything, you know? He has, you know, the so nuanced opinion that, you know, just women who are dark skinned, just cause they're dark skinned, you know, that's the reason or whatever. They can't get anyone. And that's the thing, man. It's just like I can't even really repeat the opinion because it just holds no weight. And of course, this is really what grifting is. You know, everybody calls like everyone they don't like a grifter, but grifting in reality is just not being based. It's standing on something for the explicit monetary value of it. And right now, dunking on black women is popular. Okay, dunking on VTubers is popular. That's why everyone says Alana is a grifter. You know, and you're not supposed to be a smart intellectual person. You're supposed to help me goon. God damn it. Why do you look so hot? You're talking about things that make me feel feelings. Don't ignore your feelings, fellas, okay? Don't ignore the horny either, right? Alchemize the horny. Use the horny. Don't ignore the horny. It's not there to hurt you. It's there to direct you. And a lot of times, man, you say the wrong thing in the wrong setting and it can just direct somebody into the wrong place. But I think at the same time, I have to hold weight and space for myself. You know, because as much as I say I don't like to be seen, there's a certain level of acknowledgement that I feel like we all need in order to function in the community. That maybe one day I'll learn to be comfortable with. For now, we'll take it one step at a time. One step at a time, you know? I don't know if I'll ever really be, you know, as great at it as others, but I'm gonna keep trying, guys. I really am. I think it's harder for me to give up than to keep trying. So we'll keep doing that. That's it for me. Have a good rest. I'll see you next time.
Imagine being black in a cell, and right down the block is where the Aryans dwell. And you ain't got 500K for the bell, and you are not the one that like to play show and tell. Fuck a sentence, they gave me paragraphs.